TVET conference. Makofi tafadhali.
Good.
Excellent. Very
They
good.
passed the test.
Absolutely.
Now, Mina, one of the things we enjoyed yesterday was Menti.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would like for us to engage a bit on it. So if you could enable the screen so that everybody can see,
Yes.
go on to menti.com.
There you go.
There we go. Menti.com.
As usual yesterday, yes.
And the code is 5247 4447.
Absolutely. 5247
447. And we would like to know today, if you are a vegetable, what would it be and why?
Yeah, we are not calling you a vegetable, but we're just
if you
asking
are.
you to think. You know, back in places, there used to be, they're not here, there used to be teachers who would call you some things, malenge,
Yes.
those kind of things. But we're not calling you that. We're just saying, if you were, for example, what would it be and why? Let's just get to know. It's just a way of breaking ice. Some people are already starting to say, meaning nyanya. No, just put it there. I don't know.
I'd have been an onion. I just make people cry.
But I have a question. Is a tomato
A fruit or a vegetable?
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's see the responses.
Let's see what they will say.
Let's see what the responses are. So
it's
let us
always
know.
been a discussion, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, so it would be important to know. Yeah, let's see. Get
I would be a cabbage.
Don't just say cabbage. There's a reason. If you were, what would it be and why?
Why?
Unajiita cabbage.
I would be a cabbage because...
Because of what? Just say something extra. Yeah, we want to understand and see. If you were a vegetable, and please, we don't know your name, so don't feel free to just put it there. So
go
don't
on
worry.
to
So feel free.
menti.com
Yes.
and use the code 5247 447.
Yes.
So that you can access the question. If you are a vegetable, what would it be and why?
Yes. What would it be and why? I would be a carrot to grow old and be productive forever, to keep all eyes awake. That's a nice one, eh?
We are on a vision.
I'll be
I'll be pumpkin leaves. They are so sweet.
No. You didn't finish.
To men.
So sweet to men. Who you? Who is
I would be
that?
skuma wiki because it's one of the most used. Okay.
This is a servant leader.
I would be a cabbage since women don't like it.
Okay, sawa, I know. What about the managu one? Managu, because its natural nutritional values. This is a Kenyeji person.
Yes.
Yeah. I could be a Delia's meal. Okay, this one has already thought of the vegetable cooked. It's okay.
This one has said I'd be cucumber.
Cucumber?
Because I am not only a vegetable,
Yes.
but medicine.
This one is
It's a serious one.
yeah, I think it has a medicinal background. Okay. I would be sukuma wiki every day.
Someone has written here, I would have been a poth.
A poth. Just scroll down a bit. Yeah, a poth. A poth is what?
Mrenda.
I knew someone is trying us here. Yeah.
Both for female and male.
Yeah, sweetest. Yeah. Yeah.
I would be spinach because I'm soft and nutritious. I would be pili. Okay.
Hey, huyo ni nani?
Oh, ni mtu amesema, I will not be shared.
Yeah.
I would be cauliflower because it's expensive.
Yeah. Let's go back to the pilipili. Pilipili, I think, is also, people, we also checking on personalities. Who you labda the strictest? Anyway.
Mkali.
Yeah.
I would be broccoli because of how sweet it would be with mayonnaise on me. Broccoli.
That's who you.
Mayonnaise.
I know.
Hey, nione kando. I don't think unafaa kuikula hivyo. That's not very healthy.
Yeah. There's
I
also
would
another one
be
who wants
eggplant
to be.
since I don't eat eggs.
Eggplant, eh? Yeah. There's another one I was saying that it would be a spinach so that it could slide to work easily. I don't know whether you have tasted Murenda. There's another smoother one. But anyway, thank you so much, Buana Spinach. The one who would like to be a spinach. Just moving on, tomato is a vegetable. Someone has already decided that
they have
debate
concluded.
is done. You're right.
They're not even discussing it anymore.
No, that's okay. Do we have any other responses down? I just wanted to see whether that's the end. Yeah, there's one more. I'd be greens so as to nourish everyone's health. If someone has put a paragraph, I'll be a Scotch bonnet pepper. You just missed that. Fruity in smell, but with a punch of heat. This one, I can tell you, they're the people who used to get, those days where composition was out of 40?
Yes.
These are the ones who used to get 37.
37 and above.
37 and above. Thank
Scotch
you so
bonnet
much.
pepper nile pilipili hoho ndogo.
That one, if you ask me, I have where is my linguistic teacher? You were my English teacher those days, but anyway, I think he's out, but I'll let you know later. Zucchini, because it's very versatile. Yeah.
I would be cooking oil because it's used to fry food. Now, cooking oil is not a vegetable,
You know,
but I appreciate your intentions. You'd still be used. Don't be discouraged.
I think it's because he teaches in a TVET, they have already practically extracted
They've
from
already
the
made their
vegetables.
cooking oil.
So it's a vegetable oil. Anyway, I think that's good enough. I'm curious to know about the broccoli. What did they say?
It is medicinal,
Medicinal, yes.
and keeps me healthy. Someone has said I'd be managu because I'm bitter and sweet.
Oh,
Aye.
okay.
Aye.
Hey, hata
Aye.
tumekataa. Kwetu tumekataa. Kuna mtu amekataa hapa.
Yeah, okay.
That's good. I think we have all the vegetables covered, right? What about yesterday? Things that should have you seen something
Okay,
funny?
this is funny. Someone has said I'd be mrenda
Uh-huh.
because I like to slide through life's challenges.
Okay. I like this. Let me see. These are potato finally.
Okay.
A potato so that I make people happy. Ever played the game Don't Drop the Hot
yes,
Potato?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. You're right. Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. There's something about losing weight here.
Yeah.
And there's, I don't know what vegetable this is.
Someone said asparagus.
Asparagus.
Someone has written here,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be a lemon.
Why?
That way we can make different things from me.
Like lemonade or what?
Uh,
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Turn to the person seated next to you and tell them you are a great vegetable. I mean,
If they didn't tell you what vegetable they are, I hope you could look at them and say, where unaka cabbage?
hey.
Where
Yeah.
unaka managu?
Not to worry. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Thanks for those responses. We also want to get one more. If you could move to the next slide. Yesterday we had amazing panel discussions.
Yes.
Absolutely. So if you just check your phones one more time, please let us know what stood out for you from yesterday's session. Just type in something that really stood out for you from the panel sessions we had.
Yes.
Probably it's the visits that we had yesterday.
The speakers we had, the panels were so engaging yesterday, Maina.
I know. Do you know yesterday
Uh-huh.
I was able to weld a T-joint?
Maina,
For
we
my
watched-
first time.
We watched that video.
Oh,
you
you-
didn't
you
weld.
you watched
You
it?
didn't weld.
No, but just
You were
hold
just
on.
saying, guy, inachomeka. The
No,
whole
Moja.
video. We saw. All of us here are witnesses. There was no welding done.
But I didn't say that. I did it. And it was practical. It was virtual.
Virtual reality.
And guess what stood out for me? It takes about a year to train a welder all the way up. But with that
took 3
virtual
months.
one, 3 months,
Yeah.
and you are super qualified.
Yeah.
And it's virtual. And you can compete with all these other guys. I mean, that's amazing technology.
I thought that was also very
I mean,
innovative.
yesterday I was narrating to my family how I am now a welder, qualified.
Guy,
I could
guy,
do anything.
Guy.
Yeah, without crash course.
If anybody applies for welding and their name is Minor Chege at your institution, run away.
All T-joints
This
on
can't
me.
be trusted.
I know.
So what stood out for me yesterday's session, change is the new normal.
Change
That was
is
a
the new
good
normal.
statement
Absolutely.
yesterday.
Look at the other one. Dual training is practically possible. Another one.
The TVET, the achievements of TVET and dual TVET.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We also talked about the achievements of TVET and dual TVET. And then, of course, the exhibition stands is so amazing how you bring about. I think it's someone who went through there and saw those kind of things.
Yeah.
There was something about lunch as well.
Someone has said
lunch
lunch
stood down
was
for
enough.
someone. Lunch was enough. That's good enough. Yeah. We are people, we eat. Yeah.
We take care of the mind and the body.
Yeah, I have a feeling I know where that came from.
Uh-huh.
Ile kona.
Ile kona,
Hapa
ndio
kuna
inataka
watu.
lunch was enough.
Yeah, there are people who, yeah. There's also some very impressive ones. I think you could take the very, sasa umetutaja, unatuaibisha hapa. What are you saying? Anyway.
We're going to jump that one,
Let's
Maina.
jump that
Someone
one.
has said that our trainees can be involved in development projects in the institutions
Yeah.
by including the clause in the contracts. That was
Absolutely.
super. I think that was
Absolutely.
very good because it means there's inclusivity,
You're right.
not just one-sided conversations.
Yeah.
Which I found very impressive yesterday.
Someone was also impressed by the importance of embracing change and technology diversity as so as to sharpen the skills and avoid skills mismatch, which is exactly what we're talking about, that we don't want to have these mismatches anymore happening.
Yeah.
Something else that we're seeing?
There was someone who said there is
Yes.
need
The need.
for retraining KS TVET
Yes.
trainers.
Yeah.
I think yesterday we had from private sector, I won't point in which direction, juu ni kama damu ilipanda kidogo amongst the trainers,
I
when they
know.
were told that the trainers
Yeah.
need to be trained
Yeah.
before they start training.
You're right.
Yeah.
And the director responded very well and said,
Yeah.
anyway, a journey just stops to the step and we are on our way.
Yes.
We shall get to those levels where we can get even the latest technologies being trained to our TVET
So
institutions.
we give it time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we read 2 more or so?
Yes.
Just hold on. Someone was impressed addressed by the CEO, Alice
Alice.
Kandia. She's well. She's well. This is, I don't know
She's
whether it's
well.
hell. She's just well. I think someone is a medical person, they could tell. She's well, and I liked her words. She made youths keep high length. I liked the alcohol project. Oh, alcohol project. It's a project, right?
Yes.
I was wondering, we didn't share any alcohol here, but
Ama
anyway.
hao waliona
Yes.
baadaye.
Yeah, hiyo ni baadaye. Maybe, I don't
There
know.
was
Let's see another one here. Atichocha.
yeah, Maina ati anaenda live, yet it was re-recorded. Who said? You didn't see Maina running?
No, who can say that? I was even driven across to ensure that I'm here back on time, and you say I was recording. Who is that? Anyway, let's move on. Why are people laughing?
Mina's bold speed from here to the exhibition stand. This is sabotage, Mina. Oh, but they're sending, your enemies are sending messages.
I think at this point, I need to make it clear that even this morning, ladies and gentlemen, I've already recorded on, even if you check my app, 10 kilometers every morning.
Oh my goodness.
So don't joke with me. I have some blood that comes from Eldoret. You understand?
Iyo damu ni ya Mursik too. He doesn't run. Don't believe him. He doesn't run at all. But I think the feedback is very encouraging. Means that yesterday we had a great time.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some people saying the exhibition stands were inspiring.
Excellent. Yeah.
Different institutions. Congratulations to all the exhibitors.
Yeah.
The panelists met my expectations.
Yeah. There's also people who are very specific with exhibitions.
Yes.
For example, I think there was a Klala multifunctional dress, which is good. Someone is appreciating you and not me. It's okay. It's okay. Boy, child. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. And we have reached the end of the presentation, I believe. Thank you so much for that feedback. Let's appreciate ourselves. Asanteni sana. But yesterday as well, we had a recap. In case you just walked in today, we want to show you just a brief video that will just help you understand what you may have missed, and so that at least you can be abreast with what is happening today. And then we'll tell you about what to expect today and jump in straight to that. So tech team, we could have the video on.
What has been happening is a skills development led by the TVET, and now we are changing to skills development led by the industry. So there is much need of more sensitization and onboarding the industry so that they can take lead in development or skills development.
In this model, a rotation model is developed, where students move between the TVET school and the industry in blocks. Term 1, they start in school, they're introduced to the various theoretical aspects of a certain concept of the training. They go to the industry, then they come back to school, then to the industry, until they complete their course, depending on the duration of their training.
The concept in the dual is that you don't have attachments. You have apprentices or interns, which is a different word, but the important thing is that these young people from the beginning are employed by the training company, which creates a very different linkage. They are part of the company, they learn the culture of the company, they learn the skills in the company.
For you to enjoy this journey of change, it is important that you start finding joy in the tides and the waves of change.
Ours is a call to all the stakeholders to embrace this at a position where you are, and let us recognize and equip our youth with the skills and competencies that will help them get jobs that will help them along the way.
Thank you so much. Let's appreciate the team that has ensured we don't miss out on anything, and even putting this together so that at least we can not leave anyone who popped in today behind. So what's next for today?
Today we have very many engaging panels, Maina, and I think one of the things I would like to ask you is to just be very attentive and listen in, because they are so life-changing. And at this point in time, I'm going to invite the first panel, which is centered around skill evolution, bridging labor market gaps for a dynamic workforce. Such a relevant conversation, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And the moderator for this one is Mr. Noor Mohammed, Vocational and Technical Training Deputy Director from Garissa. Let's appreciate him as he comes up to
Makofi
introduce his
tafadhali.
panelists. Let's appreciate him. Let's appreciate him.
Yeah. I can tell you behind the scenes, his tailor is the same as the president's. Makofi tafadhali one more time. Yeah.
All right. 2, 1, 2. There we go. Thank you, Maina. So we have.
Don't worry, we're just testing that things are working. Please go on.
So on this panel, we have Dr. Glory Mutungi, who is the Chief Principal, Nairobi Technical Training Institute. I'm going to ask you to appreciate her as she comes up on stage.
Makofi tafadhali.
Yes. We have Dr. Ehud Gashugu, also who is the director at Algeria Digital Project and Youth Employment, KEPSA. Let's appreciate him as he comes up. We also have Mr. Harrison Ikunda, Kenya Motor Repairs Association. Let's appreciate him as he comes up. We have Nyamai Wambua, Head of Programs and Linkages at Kenya National Federation of Juakali Associations. Let's appreciate. Okay, and finally we have Miss Margaret Wamboinjeri, a trainee at Automotive Mechatronics.
You're right.
Automotive Mechatronics.
This one appreciate more because she's our future.
Karibu, karibu, karibu. Let's appreciate the panelists one more time. Over to you, sir.
I think we can start. Good morning, members. Welcome to this panel discussion. Today is the third day of our TVET conference. Thanks to our sponsors, GIZ, and the brothers from the Finnish government. And of course, the last 2 days has been very educative for us, full of knowledge, full of experience. And of course, many of us are now in a position to be able to take something back to our institutions, to wherever departments we are all coming from. So today is not an exceptional day. It is just part of the continuous discussions that had been happening here in front of you. And today we will be discussing skills evolution, bridging labor market gaps for dynamic workforce. So you can imagine there are a lot of skills that are cropping up, a lot of skills from various training institutions, from various departments, but still you can be able to realize that there is a gap. So today in front of you, there are very able, very eminent persons from various stakeholders of TVET. Of course, they are not just here, but of course they are very integral and vital figures for us as a TVET. And I would like to introduce the people in front of you. They are very important people, starting with me. My names are Mohammed. I'm Mohammed Noor. I'm the TVET County Director for Garissa and Tana River counties in the northern region of Kenya. And I have also 5 more panelists. One of them will be joining us. So I will be starting with my immediate doctor, who is also happened to be a member of the DTE from one of our institutions. Madam, welcome, and introduce yourself to the panel. Thank you.
Thank you, our moderator. I'm Glory Mutungi, as you have already been told, the principal Nairobi Technical Training Institute, and I've been a principal for a while, since 2006. For now, I think that's enough. Okay, thank you.
It is. Thank you. My brother, Mr. Ehud, welcome, please, and introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Ehud Gachogo. I am the director for Jobs and Youth at Kenya Private Sector Alliance. I also double up as the project director for Ajira Digital Project. We're very excited to be here. So Kenya Private Sector Alliance is the apex body of business membership organization in the country. So we work with the private sector, and our membership, we have around 1 million businesses that we work with to drive economic development for this country. And part of our mandate is also to ensure that we have skilled workforce that can be active in developing the country. And so we are very, very happy to be part of these important conversations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think Mr. Ehud is a friend of mine who had been with us for quite some time. And we even met him in Garissa for like almost 6-7 years down the line in Garissa. So he had been with us. So he's a friend. Next, my brother. Welcome and introduce yourself, please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Addison Mwirigi Ekunda. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Kenya Motor Repairers Association. Just to explain who is Kenya Motor Repairers Association, is a trained association for auto garages and car dealers. To mean anybody who repairs cars in this country is potentially a member for Kenya Motor Repairers Association. We have been in existence since 2002. I've been the CEO for the last 9 years. Prior experience was in the insurance industry, gambling, media, and so on. We'll talk more when I explain what we do, but we act as a critical nexus for the students who are coming from the TVETs, because most of the employees employed in garages, auto dealers, and so on come from TVETs, and some from the universities in Kenya. So there's a lot of experience, and we have been also a nexus for what GIZ and the government of Kenya has been trying to achieve, bridging the gap between the training and the experience in the industry. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harrison Ekunda. And of course, all of us happen to be an automatic customer. And of course, I think many of us here own a car in one way or the other. And of course, motor vehicle industry is one of the booming industry. And the TVET department is looking into this industry as one of the important industries that we all need to attach our trainees to because of the demand in the labor market. Last but not the least, we have got Margaret Wambua, who is a trainee in one of the technical training institutions in Nairobi. And of course, she's also more glad because she's seated with her principal. Dr. Glory is her principal. And she's sharing the podium with her principal because it's going to be a very something to enjoy. Of course, it's going to be go a long way into her diary, sitting and sharing a podium with her principal in the panel. So, Madam, welcome and introduce yourself to the members in front of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Margaret Wambui. I'm a graduate from Nairobi Technical. I started my course in 2020, finished at August 2023. I was at Nairobi Technical for the theory, and I went to Sifao Motors for the practical part. And I can now say I'm an automotive technician. Automotive mechatronics technician.
Wow, mashallah. So that is something to impress this. Of course, having the right mind here, of course, she's going to share her experience in the institutions and, of course, that one of the industry. And industry has been taking a center stage for this conference because without industries, our institution, our trainees cannot be able to go to the market And of course, industries is an eye opener for them into their work. So today, we shall open our conference, our discussion here with those with these two gentlemen and the two ladies from here. And of course, we shall be waiting another member who will also join us in the later part of the discussion. As you know all, the topic is skills evolution, the rise of various skills in the market. You can be able to know various skill providers in the public and in the private institutions, but still, you can be able to realize that there's a gap in the absorption or in the employment. Do you know why? It's because we are not getting the right skill for the right industry. It's severe. Yes, because we need to get advice. We need to get labor market information. Which skill is rightly needed in our market? So to take an overview of all this, we shall be having a round table for of the guests in front of you. And of course, I will start with Dr. Ehud. My brother, you are in the market and the public and in the association, in this association for quite some time. What is it like to take the youths in this market so that they can be able to be absorbed in the market? What skill do you think is the right so that our youths can easily be absorbed and they don't just take any skill within the market? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, moderator, for that very important question that you've asked. Allow me to open my response by saying, private sector is not just invested in skills development because it's a good thing to do. It is invested in skills development because that's the only thing that we can do. The business case for private sector investments in capacity building for young people and ensuring that they have the right skill goes beyond just the fact that they're going to work in the industry. But it is a testament that businesses have to make sure they are creating markets for their businesses in future. So as we start there, it means that the interest of businesses with impacting relevant skills to young people is of no question. Then the question is, then what is this then that makes that difference or that intersection quite a challenge? In the industry, the aspect of innovation runs every single day. And so what we have been doing as an association is to look deeply around the threats in the industry and pick the nuances in which industry is moving and try to curate programs, interventions, collaborations, partnerships that then speaks to what the industry is doing. In furtherance to that, we have 5 key things that we've been pursuing very, very deliberately. The first one is the concept of digital transformation. As the world continues to experience significant shifts in many dimensions, we know that the skills required in the industry are evolving and evolving at a very fast speed. We have statistics, research is there, it has shown that in the next 10 years, 50% of all the jobs that are in existence today will be automated. What does that exactly mean? It means that even as we continue to do automation, new jobs are going to be created while other jobs are going to be lost. But this is the most important point. If you keep young people with relevant digital skills, 90% of the occupations that will be in existence in the next 10 years will require one way of a digital skill. So in essence, when you really then think about what the industry needs are, it means that digital transformation, digital skilling is a very important skills to think about. The second thing I also wanted to mention, when industry goes through this type of very difficult transformation, and trying to align itself to the needs and the challenges that are happening globally. The skills that are now then more prevalent, you will also appreciate, is around creativity, problem solving, and ability to understand and comprehend complex situations that the businesses are confronting. So if you look at the skills topology, the skills, technical skills are apparently very, very important. But you have to blend them with additional skills which are either soft skills or the rest. The other element that is also extremely important is the entrepreneurship capability. I mean, businesses exist to do business. They exist to make profits. They exist to serve certain parts of humanity, and they have to grow. So then you'll come to realize, if we keep training people on technical skills without wrap-around important skills like soft skills, entrepreneurship, then they will definitely not be fit for purpose in the market. And just to crown all this, we are saying, as we try to prepare young people, we have also to understand the challenges that are happening. Right now, we're seeing very disrupted value chains and ecosystems in the private sector. How is the skills responding to those new intersections that are being built up in the industry? So the skills need for the industry are evolving and evolving at a very fast rate. And therefore, one of the things that we are saying, maybe just to look at the concept is really also about skills, about resilience. Because you'll go to the industry and get frustrated, but simply it's because that the industry is moving very fast and you're not able to catch up and adapt to the skills that are there. And then I introduce the aspect of, even when you're skilled, you find that you have to keep on reskilling, upskilling at a very constant, all the time is a long life learning. So I think the industry is at a point where the skilling has to be disrupted. You have to think about skilling, not just from the perspective of just impacting capacity to people, but about transformation and charting pathways for people to succeed in future.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ehud. I think that is the right language, that is the right idea to employ within our labor market. Mr. Harrison Ukunda, Kenya Motor Repairs and Association is an important, very integral industry within our labor market and even within our labor sector. I want to know some of the innovative strategies that has your organization adopted to keep pace with dynamic labor market demands and reduce these skill gaps that are there within our market. What do you have to say on this?
Thank you so much. First of all, maybe, as I mentioned, we are a trained association like any other, more or less like unions we have in this country, like NAT, I think is a famous one. There's UASU for the universities and so on. So even trains have their associations, like you have accountants have the ISPAC, Law Society have LSK and so on. Only that ours is not entirely regulated in terms of you must be a member. You can't practice a certain trend unless you are a member. So ours is free, open for anybody to join. So in there, we have garages, we have auto dealers, we have associates who are, for instance, they sell auto parts. The other guys who are also consultants and so on. And they are diverse in their nature, including paint manufacturers and so on. With the numbers, explain a few things, maybe could open some eyes for some young people in this country. If you look at the repairs for vehicles which come into the market every year, insurance alone, if you look at the claim segment for the motor segment alone in the insurance, personally, I was privileged to work in the insurance industry from the junior to a senior position in various companies. So I saw all these numbers as a finance guy. So each year we're talking about billions of shillings which are spent repairing or writing off vehicles. Now, anybody who owns a car in this country, at one time or another have to go and change oil, change the brakes, do some maintenance. Otherwise, that machine will let you down at some point. So we are talking of billions of shillings which go to this sector. Looks like an undiscovered gem. And then, if you look at the industrialization journey of Kenya, this one sector, or let's say industry, which the government cannot ignore, because the propensity to create jobs is huge. You look countries like Germany, where GIZ come from. You look countries like Japan. Auto industry is one of the biggest movers of the economy. And so is when US have issues with the auto industry, there's always complaints. So you get a lot of politics around some of the states in US, especially around Detroit and so on. So, what is the situation in Kenya today? We have, from some statistics we have been involved in, we have over 5,000 small, micro to big garages. Big garages to mean the likes of Toyotas, DT Dobby, Mitsubishi, and so on. But there also other very big garages which have been started by individuals repairing home and vehicles. If you look at the number of people employed in this sector, they land in hundreds of thousands of people. Variously, some supplying oil, some supplying parts, some involved in one way or another. Now, what's the trend of the industry? This industry will be one of the biggest movers of employment in this nation. So it cannot be ignored, because people always use vehicles, whether they come electric, whether they come hydrogen, whether they come to use solar, you have some guy who must maintain that vehicle. So it's a very important industry you can never ignore. So what are we doing to make sure that we incorporate or we bring in guys who can cope with the trends in the industry? Let me give one trend you may be aware of. The world, due to climate change issues, is moving towards electric vehicles. Do Kenya have that capacity to deal with the electric vehicle ecosystem? The answer currently is no, because we have all the issues of a charging system. The government has been very innovative. It tries to bring Kenya Power in and the other guys to start the infrastructure. So even our training institutions is one area we'd want to get involved, to encourage them that we need to have guys who have at least some basic theory about the new technologies coming in the market. Vehicles today are not different from mobile phones. If you buy the latest Mercedes or BMW or even Toyota, you know most of the things, gadgets, are electronically controlled. So we need guys who can do mechatronics, who can do the software part. So, and this requires technicians.
Mr. Harrison, if I may chip in, the mushrooming of various garages in this country is at a higher rate.
The mushrooming
of garages.
Yes.
People who are dealing with this kind of industry in the market. Because our youth and our trainees from various institutions also need to, join the right garages.
Yes.
So what are you doing to, control this market of motor vehicle industry?
Thank you so much. Now, in our association, what we've done, we grade garages based on the various categories, based on the capacities. I mean, not every other garage is a good garage. You have so many roadside garages and so on. But by the way, may I explain something? Some of the big garages we have in this market started as roadside kiosks. Somebody started with some spanner and some jack and something, grows to a garage, which at some point you see the guy is doing a turnover of 10 million shillings a month. You can imagine if I repair the latest Range Rover, if it had an accident, you can see the repair cost could come to anyone about 3 million. So I'm saying we do categorize them based on the capacities in such a way that when we advise the insurance industry or the government institutions, don't deal with this garage, is category D, they can't handle that kind of machine. So if you bring your students for recommendations to be attached to various institutions, to various industry players, we advise you choose category A, B, C, and for various reasons. They have the tools, they have the people who can train them on how to move on in terms of capacitation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Harrison Ekunda. I want to come to Dr. Glory. Dr. Glory, you are one of the leading institutions in the skill provision or skills training institutions. And this issue of labor market, skill gaps within our market, I'm sure our institutions are one of the strong stakeholders in terms of addressing the issue of skill gaps. So what is our institutions doing to keep this labor market demands and reduce this skill gap within our market?
Thank you so much once again. A lot is being done, and we have come a long way as TVET institutions, as I alluded earlier, having been in the sector for quite a while, by saying that I became a principal 2006. I was a deputy before, I was a dean of students, I was a trainer. I can tell things have evolved. There is a time we just used to train for the sake of training. Just get the curriculum from KICD, train our students, grill them actually like high school so that they can get distinctions and credits and complete and go looking for jobs. Things have changed. And at Nairobi TTI, what we are doing is making sure any opportunity that comes to help our trainees meet the labor market demands, and I'm sure every Tibet is currently doing that. Like, we have already jumped into the dual training, where my daughter will tell more the experience that they have gone through. By the support of GIZ, we have been able to collaborate with quite a number of automotive industries and companies like Simbacort, CMC, Divin. Some of them have donated equipment because we didn't have them. We expressed our challenges to the industries. They donated equipment with conditions, obviously, that we train the artisans even outside our trainees. And that is what we have been doing. And we have realized when you create a good relationship with the industry and the companies, they will respond to the needs of the institution by taking up our trainees. Like in the dual training, it's 50-50. They start in the institution the 3 months, the next 3 months they're in the industry. This one makes sure that they are in touch with the requirements of the labor market. For any TVET or any trainer to be competent, we have 3 things. We have the content, which is the curriculum. We have the trainer themselves. We have the infrastructure or the equipment that they are normally using in the institutions are also in the industry. So what we have done as NTTI is that to allow our trainers to undergo rigorous training. That's the first thing that took place even before we started the training in dual training. They were to have upskilling and reskilling, like everybody is saying, because you can't give what you don't have. The curriculum development, we are now as TVET institutions involving the industry. Because all through we have been hearing about mismatch. Who was complaining? It is the labor market. It's the industries who are complaining. So what have we done is to bring on board the industries themselves. They are the ones to tell us what kind of a graduate do they require from our institution. What is it you want them to be trained on? So that when they come, because you are together with us in baking, you will not say they are half-baked or the salt is more than anything else in that baking. So the curriculum has been designed to meet the labor market demands. The trainers have been trained in and with the industry. Because initially, you realize once you leave college, you leave KTTC then, or the Kenya School of Government currently, or any university, you went straight to college and continued training with those who used to call the yellow notes. Now it can't work. You must be in touch with the industry. And at NTTI, what we have done is that our trainers are also going to the industry, especially over the holidays, so that they can get the skills that they can come back the following term to impart to the trainees.
Okay,
Yes.
Madam, I want to take you back to dual training. The real concept is that the trainee is being trained on the right skill and also attached in the industry while still on training. So that is all about dual training. What has it to do with the student, a trainee being in the institution, and of course getting also the right experience at the industry? What will this change in the trend of the market? Yes.
Thank you. I have seen the two groups. That is the normal or the regular training, and the group that is doing dual training. To start with, even the attitude, even the exposure, the confidence. I'm sure I have one of them here. You'll see the difference and compare them to the ones that we have in the institutions. The other day, we had the PS from Germany and wanted to see what our trainees are doing. We just took them to the workshop and let the students explain. The industry has given them the confidence, interacting with the real customer. They bring a real Mercedes and they're told to work on these Mercedes. I think that interaction gives them confidence because initially, most of our institutions, we didn't even have the latest machines that we need to train with. But once they interact with the industry, they're getting the latest technology that even the institution might not be having at that time.
Good. Thank you very much. I think that this has to do with the digital transformation. Yeah, of course. And one thing I also want to acknowledge is that once a trainee is being attached to the industry will be in a position to see the potentiality of a trainee. Is it so?
Very true.
Such that even after graduation, the degree and the potentiality of the skill given to that trainee will be able to give them even a job in that industry. Thank you very much. I want to come to Margaret. Margaret is a trainee at Nairobi Technical Training Institute, also undertaking a course on mechatronics. And you remember, this is a digital skill. It's not just a skill. This is a digital skill. And I'm very much happy that most of the institutions are giving market-oriented skills, market-driven skills, such that any skill undertaken by this trainee is not just a skill, but a skill that will make them relevant within our market. Are you getting members? Such that this skill will be able to give this trainee easily absorbed in the labor market. So, Mrs. Wambua, Madam Wambua, give us your life experience in Nairobi Technical Training Institute, and what has given you to undertake this type of skill in the institution. Welcome.
Thank you. Initially, I was to do automotive mechatronics. I was to do automotive engineering. Then GIZ helped us and said there was a dual certification, 50% from the company and 50% from the school. I did undertook the interviews because I was so interested, and I was at Sifao Motors, which was like a dream come true, because since I was young, I was that person who was so fascinated with toys, wondering how things are working as a unit, and me as myself, seeing myself at school doing automotive, was so happy. For the first 2 months, because we started during the COVID times, we had like 6 weeks experience at school. Then immediately we did our exam, like our first exam. 2021 January, that's when I joined my first attachment or mentorship at DT Dobby, which is now called Sifao Motors. That was a very nice experience. It is an experience that you are there for, like, it's a real-time experience, making cars, seeing everything that is evolving, seeing the technology from school, having the part of the theory and coming to practice it at the practical with the industries helped us to grow. And I can guarantee you everyone in our class is so perfect at practical. Everyone is so confident from the industry that we have been doing. Dealing with cars is the best thing, and you understand you're dealing with like a real-time thing. You're seeing the experience. Technology is evolving. You transfer what you learn from the industry to school. You're getting mentors from both school, from the industry, and from GIZ we did receive laptops that would help us. We had overalls, we had safety boots, we had all those protective equipments that we needed. And for the experience, it built my confidence, it built my skills. I can say that I'm an automotive technician. I can perform services, I can do diagnosis, depends with which type of car it is, depends on the understanding of the car, depends on what is the goal or what we need from the car. And that's the best experience, to be very sincere.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wish, I want to bring to attention the issue of career guidance, which is also very important. Because right from the childhood age, our sister was in the field of coming up with a program that is undertaking now. Because if a person is being guided rightly, he or she will be able to transform very well in her life if she undertakes the right skill. Let me give you an example, is that before I joined the education sector, before I joined the university, I was to undertake a clinical training in one of the medical training colleges. But do you know what? I was told that teachers are of high demand in Northeastern. And so I had to switch immediately. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I was to report at Eldoret for clinical training. But because of others, what they are telling me, unaenda kufanya nini madaktari na mwalimu ndio kazi iko hapa mingi Garissa. So that way you can be able to identify the importance of having career guidance for our youths. And Madam Gloria, this is the right time. I think we need to come up with such course within our institution so that our youth and our trainees are able to streamline in the right talent and the skill that they have already have in mind. I want to come to Mr. Ehud. Mr. Ehud, how has your organization, and of course that is Ajira Digital, been collaborating with other stakeholders, including institutions, industries, the government agencies and bodies, to create more responsive and dynamic skills ecosystem within our market? Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for that question, and I'll answer it in two ways. First is an apex body of the private business membership organization, and then I'll shift a little bit on the work we are doing on the digital economy. On the aspect of the work we've been doing, we've had very long-term collaboration with both government as well as training institutions in trying to find the right policy fit that will help in evolution of the skills development in the country. And so way back from since 2010, we've worked very, very closely with various government agencies, departments, and ministries. And I remember, like, for example, in 2010, we piloted the very first World Bank program that was looking at supporting private sector become aware of how to run successful internship programs. And that's actually part of the mentorship that you've touched. And the great successes there were the fact that private sector started to become open to the fact that they see young people as a talent and a resource. And with just little incentives like making sure that the young people are work ready, they are prepared well, they have the right attitude, they have the right skill sets to work in a team, they have the right capacity to understand business, had very tremendous impacts into that. The second thing that we've also been doing is a clear realization that for us to be very intentional about building capacity for young people, we cannot just look at the top tier companies. In essence, they constitute less than 10% of the businesses, but we have a whole 90% of SMEs and MSMEs, and the potential of that very important resource has not been fully tapped. So what we've been doing is to really invest in building capacities of SMEs, because we have a philosophy that if SMEs are able to really be stable in terms of their business operations, they are making profits, they are people-centered, they know the importance of decent, safe workplaces.
SMEs are small micro enterprise, yeah.
SMEs is small micro enterprises. MSMEs are micro, small, and medium enterprises, and that's the bulk of the businesses that you find in our current Kenya economy. And they, of course, they employ a majority of people. But then the question of them being able to understand how they should be decent, how they should grow, so that they can also be able to evolve in terms of the skills needs. So we've really invested very heavily in supporting that ecosystem to be able to provide some value to the skills development ecosystem. The third point I also want to raise around our skills intercollaboration is around climate change. Clearly, and it has been mentioned here by Harrison, the aspect of climate change and circularity is such a big topic. We are all aware of the evolution around environmental, social, and governance, and the requirements from a policy standpoint for all businesses to be environmentally responsive, to be socially responsive, and to have the right governance system and mechanisms that helps them to be more accountable to the society and to the citizens who have given them the charter to exist. And so looking at that, we've also been working very closely to ensure private sector does not only is a recipient of the skills, but they also provide these finances that are required for organizations like Gloria has said on TVET, so that then we cannot just have this a way of saying that we have half-baked people and you trainers you're not giving us. So we've been having a lot of policy discussions, awareness creation, capacity building, and education itself to ensure that the private sector is really providing the right support to the environment. But allow me to quickly speak about the digital economy programs that we've been running, because it's really transformational in the way we've seen things. We understand that businesses are now operating on a very complex environment, and the way businesses operate is looking at it from a global perspective. So we've been preparing young people to be able to operate at a global scene. And so Ajira Digital Project, which is a Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy program, prepares the young people to participate in a global digital economy. So we provide skills, we provide capacity, and we've been working closely with TVET institutions as well as universities to try and inculcate the culture of global mindset, but also digital work. So we have what we call Ajira Digital Clubs in very many universities in the country, as well as in technical vocational training centers. So that way, the capacity around digital transformation is not just about training people on basic skills, but we're saying we are now in artificial intelligence economy. How are we as training institutions preparing young people who are going to come to the business and find complex technologies that are being used there to operate various machines and to operate various processes? What about cybersecurity? What about software development? And so we have to really make sure that the kind of skill set that we are also pointing out these young people to are also relevant to the changes that we continue to see. And some of these things we've been working in partnership with big tech companies, Microsoft and the rest, to ensure that they are being imparted to both businesses as well as to young people. So in terms of the collaboration, our collaboration framework is so very broad because we believe that the more we collaborate and look at different strengths of each partner, the more we are able to tackle this problem, because the end goal of all what we are doing is to say, are we able to put young people into decent and dignified, fulfilling work as a result of the processes in which we are all undertaking. So the end goal of all the processes is decent work for people, decent work for young people, inclusive work, and making sure that we're impacting every Kenyan, irrespective of the location they are in, not only in Nairobi, but we're looking at West Pokot, we're looking at all the other geographies like Northeastern, and making sure that they're all included. And digital is the way of including everyone without leaving anyone.
Thank you very much. I think that is more elaborative. And of course, our youth are not only prepared, are not given the mindset preparation to be also regionally absorbed in our markets, but also in the global market. Remember, our youths must be ready to be absorbed not only in the regional market, but of course even in the global global market. We should be ready to take up jobs in Europe, in America, in Asia, and of course, in the international market. Mr. Harrison, what has been this kind of collaborative with other stakeholders on addressing and coming up with responsive and dynamic skills ecosystem? What has your organization been doing this so that we can be able to have such responsive within our markets?
Thank you so much. May I digress a bit because there's a point the prior speaker from KEPS have said, and the young lady was impressed me so much that is appreciating what is happening in the industry and in the training institutions in Kenya. And Madam Gloria, there's a lot of points I'm picking because have been this industry, especially that the auto repair industry for quite some bit of time now. Even being an employee in a garage. One of the things I've seen in Kenya, which I need to emphasize, is especially on career nurturing, career strategy. This is a place where we fail so much in Kenya. You have said that you are forced to train as a teacher just because somebody told you there's a shortage of teachers in Northeastern. I will tell you my story. My uncle was a very successful businessman in timber industry. So me, I wanted to be a somira, like him. So my parents happened to be teachers. They told me, hang on, we can't allow this nonsense. I probably could be the next billionaire, like Bill Gates or Elon Musk of this world, or Zuckerberg. And if I look at the history of these guys who have been so big in the world, like I was reading the story I was watching the story of Zuckerberg the other day, is that he started very young, nurtured, and he mastered the act of computer programming when he was very young. And that's what we need to guide these students. Tap the talent very early. The same case with the footballers. Look at how they have grown, the Messis and the Ronaldos of this world. That's what our training institutions and the entire ecosystem of training should be doing. Now, because I have very short minutes, I've been warned already. I can see the warning somewhere. What are we doing? I thank GIZ and I thank the government for building the synergies between the industry and the trainers, and that interventions of very many, even ourselves, we are looking for other guys to intervene so that we can do a lot of advocacy so that young guys, when they are joining training institutions, they're not joining it blindly. They know that there's an industry which is ready for them. And these are the kind of skills we need for the industry. The same goes for the training institutions. So don't just bring us the theoretical part as used to happen before. You're giving us guys who are almost market ready. And I can tell you for free, I went to a neighboring country just the other day. I met some young Kenyans repairing motor vehicles. And these guys have never gone to any college. And they don't have such a big garage. They're repairing all the government vehicles, insurance vehicles. And these guys ran through apprenticeship. Actually, some of the guys come from slums of Kibera. So one of the things I thank the government, that's prior learning recognition.
Yes, RPL.
Is one of the best innovations we are bringing in this country.
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of collaboration, but we are seeking for more and more and more of that.
Thank you very much. I want to also bring this agenda of labor market information. Labor market information. Labor market information. Actually, these are some of the guidelines, some of the information that we need to require. And Madam Glory, labor market information is very important aspect in our market. We need to know which type of skills is trending in this region, in this country, in East Africa, and even in the global market. So how do you think we need to share this kind of information with our industries? Because it is the kind of skill that they require is the kind of skill that we need to train and equip into our youths. What do you have to say on this, Madam? Be accelerative.
Thank you. Apart from the dual training, all the students in TVET are going for attachment, although some of it is too little, maybe because it's just 3 months every year. But we have departments. That is why our high lows are here. It's not only a one-man show. Like in our institution, it's a whole department with a representative from every department And when the trainers go to see the students in the industry, they have a template, and we are collecting data and information from the industry. What is it our trainees are able to do? What is it they are not able to do? What is it you want us as the institutions to polish up when they come back to the institution? And that is the best way we can collect information from the source. Because I will not cheat you that we have done any thorough research on the labor market that is documented, but I can tell you every institution can give feedback from the industry that they have collected during seeing the students on attachment and come back and compile that information. And actually it is shared back in the department that when I went to this industry, they told us this is what we need to do. Look at, for example, hospitality. A few years ago, we were picking orders using booklets, tea, mandazi, but currently it is on technology. Nobody is using the hard copies. So when they come back from the industry, they tell the institution, now we need to have computers and train our students how to get orders using the softwares. These days, COVID has taught us, when you go to the hotels, you used to fill forms. Now you are doing it through the technology. We need to train our students so that when they join the industry, they are able to leverage the best technology that is already in the industry. So where are we getting the information from is through the places our trainees are going for attachments where they are being dual trained, and we get the feedback right from the industry itself. Yes.
Thank you very much. Margaret, you have been in the training for a couple of years and now you are in the market. What is it like to have for a youth to go, to take all that time to be in the institution and of course to be in the industry? And of course, for you, as I'm acknowledged, you have already been approached by various employers. Is this so? So what do you have to say to the youth maybe who are online here, maybe who are able to observe, to hear, and of course go trend on this social media that are all on our eyes, and maybe they have to take one or two from you today?
Thank you. First and foremost, my mom noticed my passion since I was young, and she understood that that was engineering, but there was that classification of which engineering is it, and I only had one toy that was okay, which was a train, and one made car. So I decided to do automotive engineering. So if the passion is there, we can work on any other thing or any other situation that it is.
Thank you.
At the school, the guidance was you have to listen to what you're being told. You have to understand that you're young. You have to understand that you need growth, and you have to listen keenly to everything that you're being told. You have to understand that other people have experience and they understand who you are at the moment or the position that you are as a student. Just take everything, do your best. If you do your best, you'll have the higher possibility of becoming the best at what you're doing.
Thank you.
Follow your passion and just be you, listen, and just be nice, be obedient, do what you're told. At the industry, make use of just doing that and making more experience. Work on what you think you are not sure of. Through that, you'll network. I gained network, I gained confidence, I gained skills, and I also gained friendship from anyone. It doesn't matter if they are your classmates or a mentor, just listen and obey. And another thing is understand yourself, understand who you are, understand your strength, understand your weaknesses, work on your weaknesses, improve on yourself as a person. And for me, this is the best experience. I'm loving it. And if this is what my passion has brought me to, this is the best thing for me.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Let's clap for the lady. Thank you very much. We are being joined by dignitaries on the higher table, led by directors, Dr. Meshach and Engage, and the other principals. Our director, Dr. Meshach, one thing that has cropped up in this table is that we need to have labor market research, such that our industries are guided on the type of skill that our trainees are undertaking, such that our institutions are guided which skill is market-oriented, that our youths, once they undertake, they can easily be absorbed. So I will give you that opportunity once I'm closing. I want to give this platform now to our dear facilitators who are here, such that they can be able to pose at least some few questions, and I can see Maina is up with his mic. I don't know what he has to say and maybe want to intervene. But of course, let us change the trend, because you know all of us where you're all coming from, and with various institutions. Let us be able to ask the most relevant questions in respect to the topic of today. Is that clear? So, Mr. Maina, you will choose for me people who are able to ask questions, and then we'll be able to ask our moderators to answer, our panelists to answer.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think the instructions are very clear, and I can see already a hand here. The question, if you want it direct to someone who has spoken, you can say, my question is to this person, so that it can be answered directly. Make it straightforward. We may not need the story behind the question. Just go to the question.
Thank you very much. Now to Dr. Hehu. By the way, my name is Jojo Tiano from Riyadh. I'm the ILO. In your opinion, what do you consider as the biggest gap? Because we are changing over to the TVET training in the institutions currently, in the current training. Is it insufficient training? Is it, or is it poor training, or is it outdated training? Because we need to get that clear as we embark into the new rollout. And very fast to our TVET office, TVETA, CBET is being rolled out in all programs. But I kind of feel as if there's so much emphasis in certain areas than others, especially we seem to focus so much on manufacturing. And yet we have other fields, medical and other areas. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me take that. I think that was directly to someone. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I cannot even pass here.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Herbert Wanyonyi Msuya, the principal, Sarisha Technical College. Since we came on, I think Monday, we have been sharing experiences over the dual system. I, as a person, at one time had an opportunity to attend the dual training system in Germany for 2 years. That was way back in 1998. When we started talking about the dual system, I think I should have been the one who had been in Germany for the longest period.
Thank you very much.
Nobody has an opportunity to let me also share my experience in Germany. Thank you.
Wapi makofi yake? Asante sana.
Thank you very much.
Sasa hii pande, because of gender, let me just give a lady and then I come this way. I'm coming. Okay. Straight to the person.
Asante. Thank you. Now today I have only half a second. Thank you. Now to motor vehicle industry. Innovations, the institutions are doing many innovations in the colleges. For example, the Nyeri National Polytechnic, there is that vehicle using solar. It is 3 years down the line. I don't know if there is any improvement. You've assisted the trainees on what they have done, because every time I see it, it is the way I saw it some time back. Is it the same case that when we come here next, we are going to get the same innovation now from another country, improved, costing a few millions? What are you doing to our trainees during Science Congress, during TVET fairs? They have many skills exhibited. After nationals, what next? I'm yet to see anything beyond that. Now, another question is the motor vehicle garages. You've classified them B, C, and the rest. Most of us here own vehicles, I'm sure. I don't know if there are a few of us who normally visit those other garages, like B and C. Most of us go to the Juakal, which is 90% of what the repairs are done. Now, my question is, what are you doing to build capacity of this, because that's where we always end up. And only the last one, Madam Mutungi. We're always supervising students during attachment. During the attachment, we normally give recommendations. Is there any forum where these recommendations are disseminated? Or they just end at the college, then what next after recommendations? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just want to have a dialogue with our panelists because we have so many questions and we have just limited time and we want to take as many as possible. So if you could make your answers very short, straight to the point, and any after one people can see on the side, but please answer that. That's round one. I have a feeling we have another round to go. So let's just tackle that then.
Mr. Harrison, most of the questions were directed at you. So, yes.
Yes, start answering, but very short though.
Very short answers,
yes,
please.
Go.
Yeah.
Asante sana. She's gone out, unfortunately, so I don't know.
She's an amazing person. Just go on.
Okay, fine. I was asked about the classification of garages in the country. Unfortunately, even myself, before I went to this association, never used to know classification of garages, A, B, C, D, or what is 2-spanner or 3-spanner, what it meant. This is a campaign we have been carrying around, and we are doing it aggressively, especially through social media, and even on the national, or rather the mainstream media, the legacy media. Because one of the challenges we see, once you have a breakdown or your car has a problem, you just rush to the nearest garage, maybe in where you live, or your estate, or where your friend has referred you to. Unfortunately, the other part of it is that in insurance, where the car has an accident, mostly the guys are referred by the brokers and the agents and so on. Now, what we are doing as an association is do massive education, but it takes time to change the status quo. And not everybody probably will see this in the social media, not everybody will see it in the mainstream media, and so on. However, why the emphasis on the classification is because we want somebody who repairs your vehicle to take responsibility. So if you're class A, we know what they're capable of. B, C. Actually, those are almost the same class, but we ensure these guys have insured their premises, just in case your vehicle gets fire or damaged further, these guys can take responsibility, they are insured enough that they can compensate for the damage. Now, on the vehicle innovation in Nyeri County, controversial one. I know the county government the previous county government was trying to promote that vehicle as an innovation coming from Kenya. Good enough. As the industry would want to promote that guy to get the next level, but there's the much you can do without involving the other stakeholders like the government, the NGOs, and so on. Actually, we have reached out to not only that person, we have reached the guys who have also innovated about the tuk-tuks and so on, in a way that we bring them to a national forum and they say, hang on, this is a concept, this guy can probably get a KIPI certification and then move it to the rest innovation. But remember, innovating alone is not enough. You need to see the scalability of the business. Yes. So there's so much we are doing about that.
Thank you.
I'll get,
thank you.
You'll get in that in future.
Thank you. Dr. Wilfred, any question at this? Any question posed at you?
Yeah, there was a question on the biggest gap, insufficient training, poor all-outdated training.
Okay, please.
Let me quickly respond by saying that this is a long-standing question when we start talking about the skills mismatch. But I think the era of skills mismatch is slowly coming to an end with the kind of investments that are going towards revolutionizing the collaboration between industry and the training institutions. But what has been the biggest challenge is the aspect of development that has been taking place in silos, where education is seen as a sector that's not connected to business in the private sector. And I think there's a lot of now effort that's going towards that. So if you ask me, the challenges are, the three things are all have been there, but there's a lot of work that is also happening. I also know that one of the challenges we've been trying to address is the fact that are we training people where there are opportunities, or are we training them to go and do out activities? So there has been that sort of collaboration, whether as we continue to train, we are training people where we have seen greatest opportunities for them to make money or to get jobs or to get employed, or we're just training for them to say we are filling the number of mechanics in the country.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Before I come to Dr. Golori, remember the issue of triple P. Public, private, partnership is the way to go. Institutions, remember, all of you are coming from various institutions. Partnership is the way. Try to approach various partners which are within your environs so that you can be able to partner them so that, in order to have a smooth running of your institutions. Let us not wait everything from the government. They are willing partners, they are willing donors, they are willing organizations who are ready to deliver with us a right skill within our market. Dr. Glory, the issue of CPET question, please.
Okay, thank you. There is the latest that has been asked about what is it that we are doing. After collecting the information now from the industries through the trainers who go for assessment, I remember before I came to Nairobi region, I was in Mount Kenya region, and we had organized a feedback session with the industries and principals of the region, and I'm sure the same can be done. I'm happy I'm seeing my chairman here, David Mwangi, the chief principal in Nyeri National Polytechnic, that CATI can organize forums regionally where the ILOs, principals, and industry meet so that we share feedback that we have received and has been compiled by every institution, and we receive feedback from the industries, even in a forum that is well organized. It has happened before, and it can continue happening. We have gone fully CBET, and the good thing is that all the principals, we have embraced that. We are now working with the challenges that are coming with it. Remember, going CBET, there are the ratios and standards that have been set up by TVET. For instance, if you look at the dual training, the ratio of machinery trainers is maybe 20 per workshop. But you realize in our institutions, we have more students than maybe the workshop. But the good thing is that we have become also very innovative. Yeah. We have divided them into groups so that nobody will accuse us of not giving them enough practical experience. And that is what I'm encouraging my colleagues, that we are going to be very innovative with the little that we have, involve the industry. The other day we had a meeting with the principals, and we got very nice experiences from each one of us about what they are doing in their small and big institutions to embrace the industry to come in. Some of the institutions are starting programs where they have no workshops and using the industry to train for them. A lot is happening, and we can tell the world that Kenya has gone fully CBET.
Thank you. You know, they say that nothing is impossible in technical education. So TVET, we need to improvise everything at our disposal. So please ask 1, 2 or more questions.
Let me pick 3 as well from this end. Okay. There's one hand here that is burning, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Samuel Obiero, and my question is specifically directed to Glory Mutungi.
Where you're coming from, please, as an ILO or a principal?
No, I'm not a principal, I'm an instructor.
Good.
So, Glory, you've said you've been in this game for close to 15 or more years, and the idea was, initially you were training for the sake of training. Did you find time to maybe track the previous trainees and see how they are performing so that we do away with this this kind of statement that we produce half-baked trainees? Thank you.
That's a very direct one. Please allow me, I'm just going to pick one from each side. So, sir.
Thank you. My name is Rotich, Principal Isamis Technical. I wish to direct my concern to our trustee, Madam Glory, in Kati. Now, we have just mentioned about the issue of career guidance. In our institutions, we are establishing offices of the career guidance. But often I ask myself, what is this office doing? It's like we are establishing, I would just equate it to a pastor or an evangelist in the church, evangelizing to the people who are already converted. The idea of career guidance should be to guide those who are yet to get into particular areas of training. As a country, how much are we doing to take this career guidance to the lower levels to nurture? I just heard from the lady, the former trainee, Nairobi Technical. She got a guidance from her mother at her childhood. Now, even as we take our students through the CBC, and I know eventually they will get to our levels, how much are we doing in careers towards that direction so that we chart the way forward for the children? Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent question. I don't know whether this center has anyone with a question
Maybe
here.
one more?
Yes, one more. Yes,
Yes.
we're going to get one more.
Yes.
So we are together. But this one has been doing this.
I'm Stephen Agumbi from Bondo Technical. My question, I've had this question since yesterday, and I want to ask Director. Yeah, on at least to address the issue of nothing for us without us, is there any incentive that the government is having in place for the industry so that they accept to play the role in dual training, because it seems to be a very big issue. We are giving them a big responsibility.
Thank you.
On top of course, promise that the retraining cost will be reduced. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. But Director, even as you try to prepare and answering that question, try also to give a global picture of what is happening on the issue of labor market research. That is becoming an important item for both the industry and of course for our TVET institutions. Madam Glory, that question, most of the questions were posed at you. Try to answer, please, in a short way.
Okay, thank you. The first question, it's about tracer studies. Fortunately, there was one done by TUM, that's Technical University of Mombasa. Nairobi TTI was involved, and another 59 because we were 60 institutions, where tracer studies was done to follow up. Majority of our graduates are doing what we trained them, the competencies that they have been trained on. A few of them are doing things that are not related to what they were trained in, and that is the right attitude that we have imparted on them. So it is being done, and we have been encouraged. Actually, through DIZ, we have also undertaken tracer studies at NTTI to follow up for the last 5 years graduates. Where are they and what are they doing out there? And the feedback is very positive. So this is what I'm encouraging every institution to do, a tracer study of their graduates so that we find out, are they doing what they were trained to do? The latest one is quite interesting from my colleague principal from Lysamis. And he is wondering what we are doing about career guidance. Fortunately, all of us here are parents or you have children around you. How many times have you discouraged a girl from using a toy, which is a vehicle, and given her a dolly of a pink dressed thing? Because that is what a girl should do. If that was done to my beautiful daughter here, she would not be doing automotive mechatronics. Yes. She would be maybe doing hospitality, because that is what we are told when we are young. The roles of African women. Please let us change our mindset. We are doing a lot of sensitization. A lot of career guidance is required. A few months ago, we had a career guidance. We invited all the students, Form 4s and 3s from Nairobi region, to come and visit the departments and see what is happening before they graduate from their 4th form, and at least start imagining what an industry looks like through an institution. So what we are saying is that career guidance starts from very early. Let us encourage our girl child to use that toy, which is a vehicle, and not give them the dolly of a pink-dressed girl, because you'll be diverting their attention from what their future career would be. Young boys who are cooking, what are we telling them at home? Let them encourage. These are the best chefs. Any hotel I've gone to, the best chef is a man. If that man was discouraged by the mother or the father, they would not achieve their career. And the question I would also address, and I'm happy the director is here, is that we need proper training of career guidance personnel in our institutions. Career guidance, it is more than just telling them which course to take.
And even mentors.
Guidance and counseling is more dangerous because we are looking at a nice lady who preaches in the church and we make them in charge of guidance and counseling. It could be a big mistake because guidance and counseling is not preaching. It is a real skill. We need to have fully trained personnel for that area.
Thank you very much. And even, please let us also observe the issue of mentorship. It goes along with the career guidance too. Bana Director, this is your space to answer the two questions raised by the members. Welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, I'm very happy of the participation that is ongoing, and indeed I came late, but I've come to the last session, which I've really enjoyed the questions and the answers. I want to start from where she has left. She has talked about Office of Career Guidance. I want to talk about it because I was part of the people who are formulating this. And the reason why we have offices of career guidance is to have a shift from what's happening in the normal. We wanted to have industry participation in career guidance. Not just the teachers alone or the preachers, as the way you are saying, but what we want, the reality is that the industry to come in the institution and help to inform the issues of careers. We learned that most of our students, when they leave, some of them, they don't end up doing what they have trained for. They change and go to other careers. So that's why the thinking is, can we bring in the industry within that institution so that these students can be given direction, the mentorship can be there, and so that when they leave, they now know what to do. That's why we have them there. And these offices of career are not just in the TVET alone. They are also in the secondary schools, and we are also to put them further to primary. But we know in secondary, that's where the decisions are being made by the students, the choices on where they want to do. Even the subject choices are happening in secondary schools. But once they have now come, we want now to mentor them through the TVETs. We want to do it also in the universities to mentor them so that they can know what are the opportunities that are arising, are in that career they have chosen. That one gives them a broad mind and they will know where to go. The issue of labor market information in the industry, Dr. Kwantai wants to talk about it also. But I want to say that the Ministry of Labor is doing that. It's providing the labor market information. We have come at a time where we are no longer operating in silos. We are working together with all the stakeholders so that education, as we are training, we are also linking with the Ministry of Labor. If you look at your program, you will see how it's ending. When you are opening the program, you will see the CS education. And when you are ending, you are seeing that program, you will see the CS for labor and social protection. Why are we doing this? We are telling you that we are working together and we are collaborating together. We know labor, they know more of what's happening in the labor market, they feed in the education, and then we go on. The curriculum that we develop, we are not just developing for the sake of it. It is informed curriculum, informed from what is in the market, informed on the gaps that are in the market. That's why we develop those curriculum. And I know when the industry is involved in the training, there is a more they are going to benefit. The first benefit, you also know that we are training for who? It is the industry who will finally take up the trainees, the products. Because as government, we are training. But not everybody is going to be employed in the government. But they are going to the industry. And also we are helping this industry to reduce the costs. when the trainees go there and they're already, there's no mismatch. There's no more cost they are going to undertake in terms of that when they employ them. No more training. They'll just come in and go on. And there's also issue of, which is under discussion, about the tax rebates for industries that participate in the training. So there are more things that are there. And even much more is that in the TVET institutions, we are also acquiring modern equipment, as I was saying yesterday, which are also for production. We are now allowing the industries to come and use them. And we have said that, in fact, the principals were told the other day, the PS was telling them, identify the industries that can work with you so that they can come and take advantage of this modern equipment that you have here, the machines that you are having for production. So as they are doing that, it's benefiting the industry itself, at the same time benefiting the institution. So all this is a collaboration. We must work together as a team and collaborate as a team for us to go forward. With that, I want to invite Dr. Kwantai. He wants to talk about the labor market. Kwantai was the CEO for TVET CDAC, and he dealt so much with that. Karibu sir.
Okay, thanks a lot. Good morning.
Thanks, sir. Welcome, sir.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot. Oh, mine was, you are aware that you are talking of dual training. Are we together on that one?
Yes.
And we want to anchor it into our policy and standards. We informed from the well-established economies who have implemented dual training. It's the industry that declares the vacancies for the trainees to be trained. Now, we have been talking of labor information here. Even in this country, I've listened to our industry, even our own peers. They have told us he has been approached by different development partners. They want 2,700, I don't know. They were in the institution, some of them, they want an ETC. But according to me, maybe in Nyeri, they did not get what they required. But was that information shared to all the other institutions? Here, we are saying, for example, the Ministry of Industry, Mercy State Department of Industry, and the expectant Dr. Njuma to be here today. They have developed an interactive portal whereby you as an industry, Dr. Ayund, you have been telling us you require these people. You require these people. You tell us, I require 20 of them who have done this with these specific what? Skills. Such that then, a given institution, the LOs are here. They also get to know, yes, there is an opportunity in this. Then also, you declare to us how many trainees do you want to support through dual training. And that is the best way, and that is how we can see it. We are happy with you, Dr. Hayund. You have talked about the anticipated skills, the same case with Anson and ETC. That one is, yes, labor information and research and ETC, that it's very good for us. But if tuingine mumetangazia, you require nurses, you require what ETC. Let them be put in an interactive portal and let everybody see them that they exist so that these institutions can attach to them and they can develop those programs and even talk to those specific industries as we implement dual training. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think we want to wind up now. Time is not on our side. I want to come back to my panelists here. We want to give final remarks, or rather what is called a parting shots. I want to start with Madam Wambua. What do you have to tell to our youths, please? And I've earlier also asked you that question, that the market is still viable, the market still need our trainees, and of course they should be ready to take up any skill so that they can change themselves, they can change their families, they can change the community and be able to be a very productive person within the community. What do you have to say?
Thank you. Mostly as a girl in my industry, we receive like a lot of attention, and you have to take it in a positive way, because there was a time I was working at Express and customers are waiting for their vehicles, and when they see it's a girl performing their vehicles, some will have doubt, and you see like if you see me as a woman first before as a technician, you already have some conclusion already, but just do your best, satisfy the customer, and they'll see the potential and the greatness.
And of course, the kind of diagnosis that you do to the vehicles is a digital one, not a manual one.
All of them. It depends with the vehicle that has come, but now with more technology, we do most of diagnosis, but things like service, it's mechanical and it's manual, and it has to be done regularly, or things like suspension, braking system. So just follow your passion, try to do also new things, just don't be on one thing, try to just do a lot of things, perfect on what you're doing, try to be the best so that you can be the best at what you're doing.
Thank you very much. Mr. Harrison?
The future is very bright. Just to emphasize something which has been said by most of panelists, mentoring, career guidance, market research, market guidance. Most of our youth out there are suffering because they don't have this information. So there's a lot of advocacy to come from the industry, from the government, from the partners. Mentor, the most successful people. And then there's somebody who said about entrepreneurship. People should not look for a job just to earn a living. They can also grow the next phase of the industry. Some of the best industrialists or the best businessmen learn from the job. So we need to have guys who will build the next industry to make Kenya the next Japan, Germany, US of this world. Asante.
Thank you very much. I said that our youth must be ready to take up skills, not only in the country, but even in the global market. Yeah, Mr. Ehud?
I think for me, it's just a clear realization that the problem we are dealing with is that there are no sufficient jobs for everyone. So even as we train young people, I think the most important skill is to train them.
No job is limited.
Exactly. So we need also to make sure that we're also training them to be employers, and therefore having our own skill set is very important, and in particular the entrepreneurship skills. But the other aspect that I really want to talk about here is the fact is that we really need significant mindset shifts if we have to make this work. And this mindset shift is not the fact that because we are trainers, but also because we are citizens and holders of responsibility of guiding young people into the ways in which they need to go. Youth-centric approaches to training has to be adopted. In most cases, we make these decisions, and allow me for 1 minute just to say something. When I went for holiday last December to my uncle, and my uncle has this brilliant young man who has gone through Kabete Training College, did architectural, steward, but then this guy has not been working, but has been staying with my uncle at home. But the guy, because of applying digital skills, because at the age and time, these young people are so much exposed to digital, he started doing some work for companies in Australia. So he has been designing houses for them in Australia, but he never leaves the house. So my uncle thinks this guy has joined Illuminati and the rest because he doesn't move out, but he's making money and his life is in progress. So my uncle is asking me to go and look for a job for this young man. The point is, he doesn't even understand that there's something called digital technology, the global mindset, that people are now using digital technologies, digital platforms to make their life end. So I think for us, the call for me to action is that we must change our mindset, we must see the world in its 3 dimensions, and we must listen to young people, what they want, where they're living, and we must get there so that we can help them to make the right decisions in life.
Thank you very much. Dr. Glory, you are the final person winding up this program. And remember, the industry is looking at us, the world is looking at us to come up with the perfect skills for the market, and of course, to fill any necessary gap that could be there within our market. Please say your remark.
My final remark is it's not about just training, it's output. Who is this person we are training? What quality are we channeling out in the industry? I'm appealing to all industries in this country to see training as part of production. It's not a waste of time. It's not taking up their production time. You are training your future employees. Please, let's partner the industry and the institutions. When we come to you, please listen to us. We are training for you, and we'll give you the right quality of graduates.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Remember, the right trainee, the right skill, the right industry, and of course, the right production. That is all we had for you today. Mr. MC, you know, you just come close. I want to tell the participant that I have those who want to share some information regarding skills for future. I have these units for you. If you want to share, I can share with you. Public-private partnership for public TVET institutions, I have it. The future is blended, I have it. Skills need anticipation and matching. Sectoral approaches and sectoral skills bodies. Prior learning, I also have it. And then digital transformation of skills. Skills for greening economics and climate actions. Quality assurance in skills and lifelong learning. Social partnership protection in skills. Financing skills. And of course, quality apprenticeship and competency-based learning on micro-learning. Thank you. That's all what we have for you today. And of course, please, thanks us later. And of course, if we have left anything left that you see that we were short of it, it is not to our makings. It has just happened. Please, we apologize for any shortcomings.
Let's thank them now, not later. Wacha tuwapigie makofi tafadhali. That was a good one, right? Tech team, if you could just display the Menti, because we have several questions that were not answered, and there are quite a number, as you can tell. I think about 32 questions or so. So you guys, you're not done. As you are having your refreshments, we'll be looking at that so that at least we can read out some of the answers from the people who have asked. So in case you don't have your question, we didn't get to take your question, just use that code, share your question. They're not just going anywhere in vain. We're going to ensure at least those responses come out. Nyawera, that was an amazing session, is it?
I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they
Thank
can just
you so
wait
much,
there.
Mr. Moderator. You've given us such good direction in this panel. Thank you.
The moderator is amazing.
Yeah.
For example, let me read one of the questions, then just cut me like he was cutting people. Trainers, industry, training as trainees.
Thank you. That
was a good one. That was a good one. You didn't let them waste time.
That's
Thank
how
you
it
so
was.
much.
Excellent. Let's appreciate them one more time.
One more time. Yeah.
Very, very well done.
There you go.
Thank you for all of you who keep on sharing your questions. Please don't stop. Let's keep these questions on until the next session.
Absolutely.
Because I believe that they are still of importance, even for us to just know where we are.
Yeah.
And so please, let's just keep on writing the questions. Even over tea, please, if you have any question, please leave it on the Menti, so that when we come back, we can also see how we can go about answering them.
Sure. We have 20 minutes for our health break and tea. Remember, as usual, as we said, it's not really a networking session. There's a temptation that comes to talk a lot there. Once we call you, please come in.
Yes.
And the tea break begins.
Now, but how will it sound when you're telling them to come back? Maybe you can do so they can hear the voice and they know what it sounds like.
Let's try that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to do. And then we'll tell them kujeni. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, kujeni.
So when you hear that voice,
come.
run back in, all right?
All right.
So please go and
Let's
have
go.
some tea.
Let's go.
Thank you so much.